Joe's death is kid friendly to the point where when he dies, he's not even dead. He's on life support.
Right.
He ain't got no broken bones. He ain't got a scratch. That fool must have had a heart attack on his way down.
Right.
Oh shit!
Or just hit his head. But it's not even bandaged.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right.
Shit, that fool landed on a mattress. He's my heart. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. Let's go ahead and get started. Man, I said this before, and I say it again. That trailer made me mad for PIXAR'S Soul. Everybody come running me talking about, man, Pixar finally got black people up in it. Because keep in mind, Pixar didn't even have no black people in the background for a long time.
Sure.
One or two.
Yeah.
Specks.
No speaking lines.
Yeah. Yeah, specks. It's like drops of bird turds on your windshield or something. Just dots. And then they're gonna come bragging about we got our first black man. First black man, and they turn around and kill him.
I did it. I got the gig.
And you know what? And then laughed about it. Did it in a funny way. Ha. Stupid Negro, look at that.
Some Looney Tunes kind of
Some
stuff.
Looney Tunes shit. Look at that dumb black guy.
Got the gig.
Well, what's funny is that there's 80 years of history of cartoon characters falling down sewer grates and just bouncing away like nothing happened.
It's true.
Not him.
No, not him.
No, this is horror movie logic, Mark. They didn't apply it here, so sorry. This is the way it has to be.
That goddamn coyote can fall off the cliff all day long. But you decide to put a Negro in this shit. All of a sudden, real world physics apply.
Yep.
Y'all killed that brother quick. And then gonna turn around, even when we get to see him in the afterlife, he can't even keep his blackness there. Y'all gotta turn that fool into a Smurf. And it's just as blue. Damn, trailer even don't want to play this shit. Look at this. Stepping up going into the afterworld with blue balls. Look at it. I didn't say it out loud because people be like, oh, Corey, he's mad on that black shit again. I didn't say nothing.
Actually, you and some other people were quite upset about that. Like the trailer. How it's like, oh, you totally looks like you had the character in the beginning and then you changed him this. So that was a bit of a controversy for quite some time. Actually.
Yeah. But I tell you, the other reason why I didn't say anything is because I said, you know what, don't underestimate Pixar.
Sure.
Pixar, I'm willing to, just on good graces alone. All right, sure, you finally let us in. Didn't let black people up in the house and into the building for a long time. When we finally in, you let us through the back door and then killed us. But welcome. But I said, just on good graces alone, Pixar, they are some of the best storytellers, not just in animation, but in the business. We're on top of their game. As long as they ain't got a talking car in that shit, then we're kind of good.
And they can do fish once.
Once. As long as they ain't talking dinosaur or talking car, we kind of good. Yeah, and one fish. But I thought about that and said, don't underestimate them. They probably got something up their sleeve they want to do. And seriously, do you really want to trip up like this with your first predominantly black cast in a Pixar movie? Y'all really want to sidestep like that? So I decided to go ahead and give this a chance. I doubt if they want to drop the ball that hard on one of their most progressive movies ever. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for Soul.
It's my reason for living.
Now, if he was real black, you would have heard, mother shit! That's what he would have yelled, shit!
We can't taste either?
All that stuff is in your body.
No smell, no taste.
Or touch. See?
Okay, I get it. Disney and Pixar's Soul.
This is a story that, when you look at the trailer, you're really not getting a whole
There's a lot
here.
they leave out.
Yeah.
There's a lot that they're not telling you here. So, but for the story, you're getting what's happening right here. And even then, they're only giving you they're just scratching the surface with it. For this, you got Jamie Foxx as Joe. Joe
Joe Gardner.
Joe Gardner, he's a music teacher by the day, not even a full-time music teacher. And at night, he's been trying to get this gig with one of the most popular saxophone players in town, and her trio. He's a middle-aged man, but still got his mom on his ass talking about, boy, if you don't get out there and get yourself a job with some benefits, a job with some with a pension to it, a job with a future, instead of you trying to get with this music all day, boy, you ain't gonna be no musician like you think you are. He gets sent to he's supposed to go to the afterlife, but he gets sent to the great before, after he falls off the escalator, taking himself to whatever the great beyond is.
Which does not look pleasant.
No. It does not look pleasant, but people just kind of like, shit, I'm cool. I ain't going back.
They're ready. That's why.
They've accepted death, and going to the great beyond sounds fine until it looks like a big bug zapper.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Going to the one all-encompassing essence, we all become one. It's like, I don't want that. I'd be terrified of that.
Nah, player, you keep that.
I was kind of cool with it, but I'm just kind of tired.
That's why they were fine with going to it.
Like, I'm ready, man. Shit, zap me.
That's all be one thing.
Yeah, shit, I'm done. But he falls off and goes to the place where souls are before they get put into their bodies. And he's trying to find a way to get back into his own body because, man, I just got a big-ass gig going on. I can't be doing this death shit right now.
It's happening tonight.
Yeah, and I got to do this in about 3 hours. He figures out a way to probably do that. And to do that, he might have to fake a mentorship with one of the most difficult souls in the great before. 22, voiced by Tina Fey, who says, you know what, Earth, fuck it. I ain't gonna
You keep that shit.
Yeah. You mean I can sit up here and feel no pain and float all day and do, why the hell I want to go down there? No, you can keep that. But meanwhile, everybody in the great before, like, yeah, get her ass on out of here. I mean, everybody's tired of her. She's made every famous, iconic soul that's come through here. He's made them either get pissed or made them cry. So do what you can, and maybe we can see what we can do getting you back down to earth. And that's the tricky part. 22 is the most annoying and difficult soul to have ever walked the great before. And if Joe wants to get back down there, well, he's going to have to make her just slightly less difficult. The character is black. The setting is his cultural surroundings, which is often very, 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 very black. But none of that is the focus.
No. This, matter of fact, that's what's been happening these past few years, is where we're getting things where it's like, hey, this features black people and even includes culture, but it's not solely focused on that.
Yeah.
Which means it's not focused on struggle, which is like, yay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe didn't run to Martin Luther King in the afterlife.
No.
He didn't run to Harriet Tubman or some shit, anything like that. Chris, you about to say something?
No, it's more about like a midlife crisis, because I'm thinking of like all of these Pixar films that we've gotten, and whether they be about fatherhood or dealing with old age or even death. But this is the first time we're actually following someone who's literally in their mid 40s, dealing with a midlife crisis, but trying to do this thing where everyone else is saying no to that and trying to find themselves. And I like that, because often we don't see a lot of middle-aged people in a children's film. Like, I thought that's what kind of made me really appreciate it. They did something new in that one way.
It's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that probably shouldn't even go together, but they do. Because right now this is a weird mix of black culture and metaphysical theory about one's existence and consciousness. And you're like, wait, what? I know. Wait a minute. All this, as in this man said, Chris, a children's film. Look, people, like, I agree with you wholeheartedly. This is not a children's film. I'll tell you what it is like. When we talk about metaphysical theory and we talk about all the stuff with black culture and jazz that's going on and how all these things mix together. Because this is like two different movies. Different sounds, different styles, different stories, but somehow, some kind of way, carefully combined. I'll tell you what it is. Imagine if you had Spike Lee hook up with Christopher Nolan and they made a movie together. And for some reason, they made each other.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it's coherent.
They made each other more coherent.
Yeah.
Made each other more normal. Made each other less crazy.
The first time I watched it, I teared up a bunch in several places throughout the movie. Like, even in that opening, just because of how well Joe was realized to me. And I've seen the trailer. I know he was going to be having a good day and then fall down the hole and die. And yet the way it's really set up for him, I felt so happy and so just heartbroken, almost devastated when it happened. I knew it was going to happen, and it still got me. And then that's when the opening credits show up.
Yes,
like that's before the movie even starts.
Yeah.
I was like, God,
Shouldn't have wondered. Mom was looking at me when I was joking about him falling that manhole. I was like, that shit ain't funny.
Well, they don't really play it like a joke. I mean, they don't. It's not dire, but it is like, me. And there's so many places in the movie that are just really touching and heartwarming and just speak to so many things about life. And I've seen other metaphysical existential movies, but they kind of climb up their own ass at some point.
Yeah.
And this one manages to not do that. It keeps it simple enough to where you're always on board with it.
With something that is as fringe as jazz, and with all the metaphysical theories and ideas that are going on about what is personality, what is consciousness, a lot of adults are going to be talking about, Whenever an adult says, that's when they look at their children and be like, well, you too stupid to understand this. Because true that Martin is, no, it's not a kid's movie. And I already had this thought developed before, so I'm not talking about you. How dare you call it a goddamn kid's movie?
No, I
we're
hope
not
you
going
didn't take
against you.
what I'm saying
No,
that
it's
way.
fine.
Okay.
No, I'm just, because that was a point I wanted to make before you even brought it up. So I don't think I'm harping on you about that. It's not a kid's movie. It is a movie for all ages. Now, I'm going to tell you, 6 or 7-year-olds, they're there for the pretty colors and whatever gags they can get out of this. Maybe they won't get it. But older kids, man, I would even give like a kid 8 or 9 years old, they start to have a sense of what's happening. Even if they can't put this all together.
Sure.
They can get vague concepts. This is why I love Pete Docter. Pete Docter is the director here. Pete Docter has done my favorite films over there because they go against the grain of whatever they're doing in mainstream family entertainment. He did In and Out, Up, and I think he directed some other things.
Inside Out.
He did
I'm sorry, it's Inside Out.
He did Monsters Inc. as well.
And Monsters Inc.
And this almost feels like a sequel to Inside Out.
Very much so.
Yeah, it really does, man. I just, when I say this is anti-Hollywood family entertainment, especially for animation, this is what I talk about when I say, because people call me cynical all the time. No, I just know when something is almost pandering down to someone, or they're just trying to make a quick buck because they don't want to put thought in something. It doesn't mean I can't enjoy it, but it does mean like, I will appreciate something more when I see that there is some real thought that went into it. So when I talk about Hollywood and their movies where I say, man, why is it that we always have to have loud comedic music? Sounds like the same thing because they think that that's what kids like. Kids react to like high accents and music. How come they can't appreciate, subtle ambient? How come they can't appreciate jazz music? You're right. Look, I love jazz, and my love of jazz didn't come from listening to the masters at first, anything like that. I love like old R&B. I ain't talking about love making R&B. I'm talking about like old, just jamming out R&B. You know where I got that from? I got that from watching animated things.
Yeah.
Like Peanuts. That's before the singing even starts. Beating the shit out of Woodstock, and he didn't even start singing any songs, lyrics yet. You know what? You always think that these kids just want loud music, colors, and farts. And this is proven.
And a main character who's ADD and constantly hyperactive and yelling the whhole time.
Yeah, I know they're trying to establish like the 22 character, like she's the worst of the worst, but for the most part, she I would say I didn't recognize Tina Fey's voice.
I didn't either.
Because I'm like, okay, I know you're saying that's Tina Fey, but it doesn't sound like her at all.
Yeah, the whole time I couldn't peg the voice until I got toward the end. When I was like, all right, I gotta look this up. I was like, oh.
Even though they bring up in the film, like, why do you sound like a middle-aged white woman? This is like, I didn't recognize that particular middle-aged white woman, but she never irritated me. She just always felt very mellow the whole time, and I just grew to really like the character. Like I was never like angered, like, oh, you're annoying or anything like that. It was just it just felt very natural.
I felt 22 was annoying enough to be okay. I'm registered that you're annoying,
sure,
but I'm not so mad that I'm like, I can't stand this.
Yeah.
I just found her funny and charming.
No, I did too. I would even say that when the movie, when this is a movie that tells you straight up that kids can handle this, man. Kids can handle more than what you think.
Immature.
Yeah. I mean, we at the point where Pixar is saying, look, nobody give a damn about somebody saying hell, H-E, H-E double hop.
I love that moment.
These kids see so much crazy shit in the real world, especially on the internet. You think anybody give a damn about them saying hell? Oh, shit.
Is this heaven?
No.
Is it H-E double hockey sticks?
Hell.
That's like,
See what you did?
yeah, that's like say the goddamn word. Shit, one of them's like, shit, I was looking at porn today. Word don't mean nothing to me. Joe's death is kid friendly to the point where when he dies, he's not even dead. He's on life support.
Right.
He ain't got no broken bones. He's
just brain dead.
He ain't got a scratch. That fool must have had a heart attack on his way down.
Right.
Oh
Or
shit.
just hit his head. But it's not even bandaged. So yeah, you're right.
Shit, that fool landed on a mattress. He's my heart. There's no way he didn't do it without a black consultant, which is the co-director here. The co-director here is Kemp Powers. Co-director and co-screenwriter. And Martin, we just saw something that he had done.
I know.
The entire city of Miami is celebrating. I'm the new heavyweight champion of the world, and I don't even have a scratch on my face.
Like Joe. He felt that mantle. That is One Night Miami, which we said that movie for both of us was a better than sex. You should really see this, man. It's a stage play, but those actors in this movie are incredible.
Cool.
It's a great film, man. It's a great film. So Kemp Powers definitely brought the black elements and moments to this film.
Yeah, I was reading how he was just brought on as a writer, but he contributed so much that they listed him as co-director.
Really?
Yeah.
They got to.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. See, he wrote half this movie.
Yeah. So anyone who was concerned about the trailer, like they didn't show enough of the culture, it's very much present in the movie. There's more than that they're just not revealing to you. So
Well, and also a big concern from people is that, is he only human in the very beginning and then just a soul the whole time? And it's like, no.
No, it doesn't work out
more
that
to
way.
it.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, that barbershop scene. Yeah, and no white dude come in with that and know about this.
Right.
I mean, unless they're a wigger or something. but that scene right there, they had everything.
It took me back.
At a black barbershop. People talking shit. The barber chair that's always empty because people scared to go to that one. Shit, they were playing a Tribe Called Quest in the background. If you listen closely, shit, if you look up, there was this angle here. If you look up on the TV, they were playing a bootleg movie. And nobody paid for it. They got that barber scene down so well that they got barber supplies using that to advertise their stuff.
Oh, really?
Wall. If anybody ever cut your own hair, if you've been to a barbershop and know what they do, or they use Wall, man, WHL. Wall said, God damn, that's authentic. Man, let me just play some scenes here and just advertise.
Joe, get your buttons chipped.
How you doing? What you need today?
Oh, damn, that's a realistic animation right there.
it's a hard cut.
Boy, Pixar's next level.
Damn, the characters look real as hell. The music, man, it's not a soundtrack. Again, this is not something where they're trying to sell the latest hip hop hit. They're not trying to sell the latest pop hit. This is about the music. And so they did make it completely about the music here, man. They do have hip hop in here, but and it's very faint. As I said, in the barbershop, you can hear a Tribe Called Quest. They're playing Check the Rhyme just real faintly, man. Mom, his mother, who's a tailor, hanging out with her friends all day in that tailor shop. See if I can find this man, who's voiced by Felicia Rashad.
Which I think the contract goes, if you have a sheriff or a marshal, it has to be Timothy Oliphant. If you have a black mom, it has to be Felicia Rashad.
That is true, man. But if you listen to her shop faintly in the background, you hear Erykah Badu playing, man. Like old neo soul Erykah Badu, man. But like the story and a lot of elements in here, it's combining different music too. I really admired that that they were able to like bring in the jazz and that culture surrounding jazz, but also for the Afterworld stuff and for the Great Before, they brought in Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Damn, they look like they just got caught fucking us. we weren't making out. Yeah, they brought a lot of the music, the very minimalist ambient sound of the Afterworld.
I do like the stark contrast between the different worlds and the music. Yeah, it acclimates you to each place.
Yeah, but the heart of the movie is the jazz, and if anybody keeps up with jazz or whatnot, John Baptiste, one of the more contemporary jazz artists who actually lays down a very classic jazz sound. He was very influential on not only the score for this, he did most of the scoring for the original jazz pieces here, but also on the animation too.
And the animators animated to his finger movements.
Yeah, man, I was looking at that and I said, because a lot of times when they have somebody playing guitar in the animation, or they have somebody playing piano, either they just strum.
Sure, it's very simple.
Yeah, or they hide behind the keys and they just move like this. And I said, man, they paid attention to how they're playing the piano and animated that, and they did, man. But they paid a lot of attention to every aspect of this. You have a system for how personalities are assigned, seminars. You got mentorships that are going on. How to embrace the traits you've been given while leaving one little spark right there for your own little originality and creativity. That was well thought out, that world.
It's like if Apple took control of the afterlife and assigned you all apps and things. Like, this is how you get your personality. You got to go here. We're going to make you this way. And I'm just like, okay, I see what you're doing. Honestly, I get it because they didn't want to piss off any religious group.
Yeah,
of course.
So there's nothing like that in there. I'm sure someone will be mad. But it's like they did really think out, like, how do we assign each of these people a personality?
They were good about dodging that. When somebody said, well, what about heaven and hell? Like, hey,
that's
how you think.
Yeah, that's why they had kids interrupt. Hell, ain't no fucking hell.
Praise Satan.
Yeah, it's very religious neutral, man.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, they don't
Smart.
understand.
Without shitting on anybody's religion.
No, just
No,
one.
because they don't talk about it. Because they don't say anything. Art styles in the Great Before are really excellent, man. I look at it and I if anybody is a fan of animation and you're maybe an animation history buff or something, then you've seen some of the like old UPN cartoons, or you've seen some of the like the postmodern cartoons of the 60s where they do a lot of line work, abstract,
like Jot.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of abstract line work, which is it's excellent because they'd had a way of making these main characters all named Jerry and Terry. They're like the supervisors of the Afterworld, or the Before world, and they're meant to seem like they're from another realm, but yet they got to remain familiar for us to like be able to relate to something. They did a great job at that, man. It's a very cool art style that they've chosen, something I've never really seen before like this. I would say that was even more admirable than what they did with New York and the jazz scene, because you got something already that exists right there. They had to make something out of nothing for this.
And make you believe it.
And make you believe it. Jamie Foxx was so good, I forgot
that it was Jamie Foxx.
It was him.
Yeah, same here.
Because the reason why is not because Jamie Foxx necessarily changed his voice. He didn't. It's Jamie Foxx pretty much. But Jamie Foxx is playing a character so well that I saw that character. That character's developed so well. I saw that character. I saw Joe Gardner. I didn't see Jamie Foxx, and because Joe was so much of a personality, that's what he was to me. And I like, and it felt real because this is a guy who is very insecure. But not nerdy to the point where he's so uncomfortable to watch.
He's put upon.
Yeah,
that's what it is, and that's a character often like Jamie Foxx. Either he plays those very slick and cool characters, or someone who's like super over exaggerated, like Electro or something. You don't really see him as this kind of guy, and I liked, and that's why I bought into him. I thought he did a terrific job, both as in either world.
Well, I look at him and I thought he was getting on my nerves because the kids don't respect him in class. In fact, those kids in that class, he's teaching a class, a music class. Everybody's in there playing instruments, and when he's trying to teach them jazz, but And those kids are terrible, man. Those kids are awful. And they're not awful because they're truly bad. They're awful just because
They don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, stay on the beat. Turns. 2.
This nasty son of a bitch. He's so bored. He's just being a vacuum cleaner and picking up stuff off the floor and eating it.
And those kids don't know how lucky they are to even have a music program. Those are getting cut in school all the time.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, they about to cut it. They about to keep him from playing that horn. I guess. Well, shit, I better use it for something else. It's not the whole thing where they hate this teacher. I don't know what it is that they don't see in this teacher when he's trying to teach them. But just like the audience, what's cool about it is that you get pulled into the character's passion. I love that part where, it wasn't where the kids were making fun of him and laughing and everything. Once he started really showing them what he's all about and showing his passion, they actually paid attention. They livened up.
And he's playing these chords with force on it. That's when I knew I was born to play.
Oh, look at that. Now they paying attention.
Yeah.
I was hoping they cut back and them kids be holding cocktails and smoking cigarettes and shit. Tina Fey as 22. Tina, she's designed. They wrote her to be annoying. They wrote her to be a pain in the ass.
In fact, she wrote a lot of her own dialogue.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they describe her as she made Gandhi mad and made Mother Teresa cry. And I look at that and I'm like, all right, I don't want to spend time with this character. This is the kind of character that we were talking about that's from other movies where she's going to be bouncing all over the place, being really hyper just to get a laugh from these kids, which was not necessarily the case. I mean, when you first introduced me, God damn, boy, I was being serious as hell. That's being deep. That is not the case when you meet her. When you meet her, she is as annoying as they describe her.
I'm gonna make you wish you never died.
Most people wish that 22.
It was at a point where I said, you know what, I would have taken her somewhere behind a corner and beat the shit out of her, except they can't feel anything.
Would have done no good.
Would have done no good. But as the movie goes on, you find out that 22 is actually the central character in a way. 22 is actually the heart of the film. 22 is the one that is, creating a development and learning experience for other characters in the audience too.
The more she talks, the more you go, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I see why you might see things this way. It makes you want to be that person. Like, I want to try to change your mind. I want to make you. I want to make you. I'm on board for trying to make you see things differently and get on the path.
You expect that. I don't want to say too much, but you expect that 22 is the ignorant one and Joe is, of course, the wise one that's got to get them straight. I'll just say this without saying too much. Joe needs to learn to appreciate what he got. He doesn't know until somebody shows him that. I thought that was a great turnaround in the film. That's all I'll say, because believe me, people, there's about 60-70% of this movie they're not showing you at all. And some of it's going to take you by surprise, and you're not going to know where it's going. But if you just give this a chance, you will be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, no, Graham Norton, talk show host Graham Norton is in it. Plays a hilarious. There's some small roles in here that are funny. Graham Norton plays a sign twirler where he comes to the store.
He's amazing.
Sexy ass sign twirler. Yeah, man, he was getting down. At one point, he was grinding that shit. He plays a great role in there.
A lot of film's humor.
Daveed Diggs plays a role in there. Comedian. I'm looking at some of the people here. Richard Ayoade.
Yeah, right.
He plays one of the Jerrys. I think he's the one you just heard on stage.
Okay.
One of the people that no one's talking about, and I'm just only showing this because no one's talking about her, Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett plays the saxophone player that heads up the trio that I guess quartet.
That threw me off because that character looks so much like some other actress or person, and I can't figure out who it was. And then seeing that the voice was Angela Bassett, I was like, well, no, it's not her.
That character looks like every black auntie, mama,
Yeah,
that,
she does have that
you
look.
scared of. Like when they tell you to do, because you've seen them cuss out other adults.
I know. It's funny because the way she is in here, I was like, this would be a good double feature with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Black Bottom, yeah. Yeah, this is the black woman that every kid was scared of, because you've seen her cuss out adults. So if she cusses out an adult, she don't give a shit about your little ass.
Joe Gardner, where have you been?
I've been teaching middle school.
Shut up! I'm sorry.
You got a suit? Get a suit, Teach. We'll see how you do.
I was like, damn, I'm glad she ain't my mom. I know friends that got mamas like that. Like, damn, I'm glad she ain't my mom. I feel sorry for you, brother. Yeah, she was great in this, man. Dorothea.
Dorothea Williams.
Yeah, man. Look, there's a lot I can say about this movie because I love it so much that I just don't want to say anymore. I could talk to say anymore would be a spoiler discussion because I could say so much. You talk about this all day because I love it so much. I mean, having this bring in, a predominantly black cast, that's great. That's fine. But I'll take a good movie. I'll take a great movie, an excellent movie any day over small things, man. It's just it's just a treat that this is such an excellent film with a predominantly black cast and a movie that just tackles a bunch of things. Yeah, I'm just impressed, man, with how much they were able to fit together. And yes. Now this is where I could go in and nitpick if I really wanted to come in here and say, well, I don't want to give this a perfect score because that just sounds phony, or I just want to be a real hard ass. But nah, man, this is better than sex for me. I watched this and it meant so much to me to see me represent on the screen. That meant a lot, but it means the world to me to see it done in a well thought out and intelligent film.
It's funny because I didn't know how everybody else was going to react to it, because the one thing about it is that unlike a lot of Pixar films, it's not heavy on the jokes or trying to make you laugh. I mean, it's definitely humorous. It's not saying it's not there, but normally they write things that are just so laugh out loud funny. And this is always enjoyable, but that's not its goal. But I love what its goal was, just digging into so many things that, quote unquote adult films, places where they rarely or ever go. And right when you think you got the message of the film, it turns a corner and you realize, no, it's actually about this. Hold on. No. Actually, this is an element of this too. It's a lot. It really does. It's good for rewatch. I think that if you like it, you'll love it. It's amazing to me that, like, I was thinking, like, man, the two films that are in the running for my favorite films are both by Kemp Powers. Yeah. I mean, the guy's on fire. I mean, something else comes out. I don't know what I'm going to do. But yeah, I also thought, well, maybe it's just me because I identify so much with the main character. But yeah, it's better than sex.
No pressure.
So I will say this. I am almost with you guys on every single point. It's beautifully animated. The environments are incredible. The animation, the voice acting is spectacular. But the one thing that bothers me is the movie contradicts itself, I think, in its message, where you have this character who's going through this experience trying to find themselves based on the life experiences that they've had. Mm-hmm. And yet the movie establishes with its world, especially in the great beyond, that all that stuff is already pre-established. It's just struck me as weird how the movie kind of wanted to have it both ways. And so at some points, it kind of almost felt like illogical. It's like, so what are you trying to say? It almost feels like their message was contradicting the world that they had created. Based on the experiences that you have, that's what makes you the person who you are. But at the same time, it's just like, but that's not what you were showing me for like the last hour and 20 minutes. And so that was just kind of weird. I mean, I'm glad the characters came to that realization, both, I don't even want to mention any spoilers, but they came to that realization. But that was really weird to me that they contradicted themselves throughout the movie. But overall, it's still very enjoyable. Definitely one of the original Pixar films, which I don't think is going to get a sequel anytime soon. Mm-hmm. It's very good, so I would give it a full price.
Can I explain the whole thing with the predestined personalities and everything?
Don't say too much.
Yeah, I mean,
I've already said this, but you do have your spark, which is, so you're going to come down with these personality traits, but it's up to you to really, with this spark, kind of find your place.
But then why have those predetermined things though in the first place? If the spark is the most important.
Well, you
thing.
got to have something to start with.
But the movie says you're informed as you go
Chris, why
along
you
through
hate
your
black
life
people?
experience.
Don't just get down to the point. You don't like this black shit.
You didn't see him reach into his back pocket for that card.
That was fun. I was waiting for him to pull it out.
I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I said, no, let me just go to this right here.
Let's go with the source of things. Other than being illogical to a degree, the movie is still very good, and I really liked it. But I'd give it a full price.
All right.
Sure, people in the comments are always tearing me apart. Yes, I love Coco. I love. Don't. Yeah, well, yeah. I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, Coco had them light skinned people. Okay. Each their own.